What's up, guys? Welcome in. I'm Dano, aka Cobra Concept, and today we're bringing you a video on what we would like to see on the Cycle Frontier. This is a wish list. If you've got something that you want in particular that you do not see on this YouTube video, leave it in the comments, and we'll definitely try to bring it into a part 2 or something. Before we hop right in the video, again, check out my Twitch, check out my YouTube, check out my podcast, and boom, let's get down to it. Starting off strong with the number one thing that I want to see done to the cycle, not because of personal. Okay, it's personal. It's because I want this done. I would love, I would love to see what my teammates do after I die. I think that would be kind of cool, just to kind of like to watch your teammates go. I get the idea, and I know other games do it, like Tarkov and stuff like that. But I definitely like the ability to tune in and see what's going on. If they make it out, stick with them. You get a lot of popular streamers in today's world, such as Tim the Tatman or Dr. Disrespect. Even Courage is starting to do it a lot. A lot of people do a lot of spectating, where they like to just spectate the next person who killed them or this or that. I would definitely love to see my teammates get out if I am out of the race. I think it's a little less fun to go back into the station and just kind of await your rest of your crew to get out, unless you were running solos, of course. But I think that would be something really cool to add. Definitely worthwhile to look into. Moving on to the second topic that I think would be super cool, um, fall damage. Now, I get it. I get the idea that falling to your death absolutely sucks. And I'm notorious for that. I have fallen to my death on this game far too many times that I would like to count. But I think there is a workaround. And this is just my opinion. You can not agree with this. But I think it'd be really cool if, say, you fell from a certain distance that you didn't think was um, enough to kill you, and you landed on the ground. I think it would be worthwhile to do a you're knocked, like a knocked out type thing, and you're able to like stagger and pull out like a stem and use a stem if you have a stem or a med kit or something of the sorts. And then like you're prone to being attacked during this time, and you're slow moving. Just, not the fact that you can just fall and then heal yourself and be done, but if you just fall off those like little 10 feet cliffs that you think, oh, I'll make this, and then you somehow manage to slide all the way down the entire cliff and die, that is so disappointing. So, if there was some ability to get knocked down and use like a stem or something, that would be really cool. But the workaround is if you were shot by a player. This is like the total opposite. If you were shot by a player, I think you're just down and out. Like no chance do you can pull off a stem, no chance of a res, nothing. Um, I just it's just because I'm purely dying from fall damage far too many times that I would like to count. So moving on to the next topic. Back when I played the cycle back in 2019, before the Cycle Frontiers beta, we had the use of mobility suits, 3 of them, in fact. And I wondered if there was a workaround to get one of these types of mobility suits into the game. So, for example, I use the Dragonfly mobility suit a lot. And I had the ability to hover in the air while I'm shooting at things and fly across the map. And I was airborne for a lot. Now, I don't think those mobility suits will fit in the game as they were. I think they're going to have to take some significant nerfs. I think you need to make it to where it's just like a little jet boost up top, so you can't quite jump the distance and you just hit a little jet boost. It could also potentially stop random fall damage incidents from happening. So say like you fall off a cliff and right before you hit the ground, you use your jetpack on your Dragonfly mobility suit, and it catches you from falling, and you don't quite literally fall to your death because I've done that too many times. Um, and I don't know, just something I would like to see, like if the mobility suits could have a purpose in this game today. And I'm not passionate about that. I don't know if the mobility suits would add too much of an advantage, if you'd have to start working around to this and that. But I think it's a really cool idea to definitely look into. Um, as well as like the mobility suits, I think it would be kind of cool to have like a faction themed armor. So say you're super into like the ICA, or you're super into Kordlev or Kor- Korlov. I can't pronounce it. Um, one of whichever faction you enjoy the most, it would be really cool to see something like, oh, I've got like blue armor thanks to the ICA faction, and it's got this special perk that it does this, or maybe the Osiris faction armor does this. You know what I'm saying? Like to the point where like it gives it a like, hey, I want to have this armor over this armor. It could be purely aesthetic. It doesn't really have to have a certain purpose, but it would be kind of cool to kind of show off which faction you enjoy the most. Um, Hopping into the next category, I've had a couple of people mention this to me, and it sounds like a pretty cool idea. Um, Back in 2019, we also had the ability to add an ally. Say you were, um, excuse me, say you were sitting there shooting at somebody or looting the same area that somebody else was. You could go and press like, I think it was P or something, and you could send them an invite, and you guys could like run duos together in a solos lobby. It was the weirdest thing. But in how this game works now, there's a lot of solos dropping ins with trios and duos and all sorts of people in the map. That would actually be kind of a cool option. Say you dropped in solo, you see another solo over there, you send them an invite, say, hey, you want to group up, and it's like official. That way it's not like you're just talking in game saying, hey man, you want to group up, and you're like, oh my gosh, I hope this guy doesn't shoot me in the back when I walk away. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe just an ally option, just something to maybe to look into. And speaking of allies, I have an incredibly hard time trying to figure out which person I'm playing with is dropping what I need. So say like somebody's like, "Hey, I just picked up this Strider head," and I'm like, "Man, okay, cool, I need that." And he says like, "Yeah, hey, come and pick this up." I have such a hard time figuring out which one of those said that. So I know a lot of games have like, um, Cobra Concept is on this side, and Concept Cobra is on this side. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving out random names. But if it had like an ally name above the person that you're playing with, that would be kind of cool. That way you can kind of see who you're going to, who's getting shot at, stuff like that. But I also, in the same breath, really like the idea of not knowing who, what, where. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you're figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to really see anybody, but you have to just think, so and so's getting attacked. I better get over there. I hope this is so and so and not so and so. Anyways, I rambled on for too much on that. But ally names, I think, would be kind of cool. Okay, getting into some of the more out there um, suggestions. I know that there is kind of a lean in the game where you kind of like lean to the side of stuff. I wonder what the possibility of like an R6 lean would look like. Rainbow Six, how they kind of like tilt to the side and do their like side to side shooting. I wonder if that would be something worth implementing into the game. I know Tarkov, and you get some games such as I'm trying to think. I don't think Rust does it. Rust might have a lean, but anyways, there's all kinds of games where you kind of lean with your gun, and I like that idea. I think it's cool, and it might be an interesting thing to see in the game. I don't know how well it will work, but the idea is kind of cool. Um, my next one that is kind of out there is the top prospector, and this is similar to like the kill leader. And I wouldn't say like we have banners throughout the whole like Fortuna saying like so and so is has the most kills on this game, but rather maybe something um, on like your utility that says well, the person in this area by the name of um, Vortex Tornado. I don't know. I'm throwing out random stuff there, but Vortex has the most um, loot profit. So say he's got like all kinds of weapons and great armor, and he's gone and picked up 1,000 different things, and he's trying to find his way out. Well, it might pop up as like the top prospector, and it will kind of say like, hey, so and so has the most money, the most um, stuff that you want to loot, and it's not going to really give away his destination or anything, but it also kind of gives you an idea of, you know, hey, I've got a lot of stuff. I got to get out before people get me, or hey, I could catch up to so and so because he's got a lot of good loot. Maybe I can find them. So, just an idea. I know that has a long way to like really plan out, and it doesn't really. It's kind of hard to like make sense now, but it's something that I think that would be interesting to look into. I don't know, not as much as some of the others, but it was definitely a cool idea. Let's see. Another thing that I thought was super cool that somebody suggested, more stash organization, and I actually completely agree with that. And sometimes when I'm like taking my stuff out of my inventory and trying to like loot up and set up, get ready for the next raid, I find it a really hard time trying to find certain things. And it's kind of a weird way to organize things, anyways. You kind of have to just drag things to places. I'm not keen on that. I don't love that, but I do imagine that that will get better in time. I bet that's something that they're totally looking into, but we'll see. All right, moving on to the next one. More emotes and banners. I know that we have seen the Rest in Foam banner. That was around in 2019, and I loved it. I love seeing that. I love seeing the little spinning fingers emote that they do. I can't remember what the name of that is, but there's a lot of really cool things that I think would be really cool to add as an emote or a banner or something. Um, just an addition. Okay. Um, Here was a cool idea that somebody suggested to me. An emergency extract. So some type of like consumable. You've got like your grenades, your med kits and stuff, but like maybe you've got like some kind of like beacon that you take in, and it's like very rare, and you don't find these very often, but you can basically call in an evac where you're standing, and well, maybe as I'm thinking about it, you call in an evac at the closest evac place. So you know what I'm saying? You've got, say you drop in at Swamp, and like your two evacs are in the top right of part of the map. Well, maybe you can use that beacon to call the closest one over there at the Swamp area, and you can just go and get on there and just extract, like say you've got like the best loadout you've ever gotten, and you're not sure you're going to make it out, or say you accidentally dropped in and you're like, hey, I've got this emergency evac, I'm going to go ahead and use it, something like that. um and as far as like all these ideas that I've been like kind of throwing out at you, none of these are like you know my own, or you know somebody else's. Like they're a total mixture of things that I have read, things that I have thought of myself, things that friends have brought to my attention. So if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, bring it on. I'll do my best to try to answer those. And if you have also like any recommendations, any like things that you want to see added to the game, definitely drop it in the comments below. And we'll definitely try to do another video about this and try to include those comments and try to include more diverse thinking as far as where this game is going to go after the beta, when it's going to release, what are we going to be looking at, stuff like that. So I appreciate everybody hanging in here to the very bitter end. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.